I'm here. Good
All
afternoon,
right, me I
everyone.
tell the
Good
people them.
morning.
You know, so me can't see without my glass. You see, me not, I'll go.
Well, I'm not complaining, I'm not going to say nothing because me can't go nowhere without mine. So,
I know, say me not go to my eye doctor in out of Poundland, me buy this glasses, so I really need to go and get my eye checked.
oh,
But what I
Jesus
was
have
telling, I
mercy.
was trying to cue it up before you really come on and saying that we were having a conversation this morning, right? And we actually end up on the effects of what we would call the black tax, right? And for those who don't know the black tax, it's a simple tax that has been passed on from generation to generation in the black community, right? And the reason why this tax is so impactful, and not until you sit down and examine it and accept the fact that I am paying it, but I don't, as I was saying to you this morning, Miss R, I don't grudge paying it, right? But what I'm 100% sure of, it stops with me, right? Because now I understand. All right, I'm going to have to make provision for my future, right? I'm going to have to look on life insurance, health insurance. I'm going to have to work and pay into a pension. And it is important because our parents, they did not have this luxury, right? And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of having the education and the knowledge that we are exposed to nowadays, right? So it is important that you use it for the benefit of yourself, right? So you can change the trajectory of your future, because a lot of us don't want to accept that this tax exists, right? And feel free to interact, because normally we come over here and we are work. Are you with me, Miss All? Am I right? Are you there?
I'm here. Sorry, I was sending the live out.
You know work, but now we can't
Sorry.
send out and everybody want to hear. You focus, stay with me. And me and Justy. Justy, are you still there? Is it Justy? Are you there? We don't send it out to the crowd. We don't want the crowd because the mass now want to hear the truth. This is a serious conversation, right? Yeah?
All
And it's a
right.
conversation that's going to allow you to absorb and set your child free, right? It is going to be a conversation that if you really step back and absorb it, you'll be able to know for a fact. You see, when my child reach a certain age, I want to absorb my child from this responsibility, right? Because if you should look, and since I've been in the UK, right, there's not been a month where I don't send back at least 100 or 200 pounds. And I've been in the UK for like 17 years. So if you should type that in your calculator, if I was putting that in the stock market, could you see how financial viable my future would have been, right? So when we talk, we don't expect the crowd, because my life them, as me say yesterday, if me not shout, if me not behave a certain way, we not going to get the crowd. But even this
Mhm.
morning, I get the feeling when I was talking to you this morning, you probably never hear that term, or you never see that term, or you never understand that term. Or you were like, it is a very interesting take.
What
And we
black
should have
tax?
that.
No. Listen, and it, I know what black tax is, but I've
Mhm,
been thinking about it, and I'm thinking
mhm.
because everything have two sides. You have the good and you have the bad,
Yes.
and I'm going to speak from a perspective of us in Jamaica. I can't speak from anywhere else because I wasn't born anywhere else. And even from here, I can speak from a perspective here, from a black person here. And
Okay.
when we think about us who are, say, professionals, are working, high income earners, yes,
Mhm.
who are earning and then have to help to look after our people, them, i.e., our parents. Thank God I have some good parents who don't necessarily want anything from us. Like, it's
Mhm.
within me and my siblings' heart if we want to give them, but they don't necessarily want anything from us because they didn't bring us up to look after them, so to speak. We have to have that from the goodness of our heart. You understand? But it makes me think that us in Jamaica, the black tax that we pay, especially,
Mhm.
is it because of the and I can't say this is all of us because some people didn't grow up poor, but is it because the fact that our parents and foreparents never set the platform right for us, so therefore they couldn't go to, say, university and earn certain money, and they had to take everything they had and put into us, that when we get older now we feel like we have to return back that favor to them.
Hello?
I'm questioning if that's the reason why us black people,
Hello?
especially
Hello?
hi hi.
Hello? Well, Miss R, look like me letting somebody. What you saying? You all right?
Why would you put me on mute?
No, I'm trying to figure it out. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to contribute to the conversation?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, of course. You're welcome to the group. She's paused. Guess he's back soon. All right. I'm new to this, so don't take offense. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you're more than welcome. Wagwan World Pastor. I will let you back in if you want to be a part. You want to be a part? She's
Be
paused.
taking a phone call.
All right.
But
You want
do
to be
you
a part
understand?
of the discussion?
Yes.
All right. So let's just
Hang
listen
on
to
one
what
second.
let's just listen to what Miss All is saying, and then we can all have a conversation. All right.
I was saying this black tax. It's not that I don't know about it, but it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because it's good and it's bad. Some might say it's bad in the sense that we're giving back, but then I'm looking at it from a perspective of our parents and foreparents and put certain things in play for us. So therefore, the money that they had was to pour back into us, going to school and getting the
but
best life.
remember,
Big bomber class.
but remember, right? But remember, yeah. All right, but remember, right? Remember what we said, right? Because remember when we spoke about it this morning, right? So it's two ways to look at everything, all right? The people or persons who is burdened down with the black tax is people who is coming from the less affluent part of society, all right? The people are persons. So yes, you might be a unicorn where your parents migrated from Jamaica, so they were exposed to maybe a different way of thinking and a different way of living, all right? But when we talk about we are going to have to be looking at it from the people or persons who are in Jamaica. All right. The people are persons who are from the African diaspora. Right. So because what was the reason? What is it such a thing? Why is there such a thing as black tax? All right. Why is it so impactful? Why is it keeping generations and generation enslaved? Right. That's how we have to look at it, because it's okay for me to look at it from a singular perspective and say, and this is the way you might want to look at it. Like, I don't fully understand it because I'm blessed and I'm lucky that I don't feel like I'm paying it, right? But
I'm not going to say I don't fully understand it because I understand it to an extent. However, what the point I'm trying to make is my parents, I'm not saying that I've never helped and I will never. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I am blessed enough that my parents, for the years, the decades that I've been on this earth and from the time I've been working till now, it's never been a case whereby there's an expectancy or there is a what's the word I'm looking for, an entitlement to my money. Because I'm working and me got university and me get an education and me in a big job, as we would call it in Jamaica. No, I'm fortunate to this that they're not expecting our
that is unique to you, because a lot we all have heard it that your parents has said, I don't know which one of you is going to come and look after me. Right? As I said to you this morning. Right? So yes, your parents might be viewing it from that point of view, right? But the fact that the black tax existed, right?
It does exist. It
is one of the biggest wealth destroyer in the black community, right? Because if I'm going to have to be giving you, let's say, 20,000 a month as my parent, and right, then that 20,000 dollars, which is let's call it 200 pounds a month. If I was investing that over a 2-year period, right, for the next 20 years, if I was investing that every month religiously, right? So this was why when we were talking about it this morning, I'm saying it's not about just looking at it from a point of view to say, you know what, I'm bitter or I grudge my parents, because I know when I was growing up, right? I know my parents' sole focus was about making sure that we are okay, right? They did not grow up into, because think about it, how unfair the system is, right? You got people who is my parents' age in the UK collecting a pension because the system from they enter the workforce, they were paying into a pension, right? So when they get their kids is not shackled down and burdened down. And this is why this conversation, that's why we don't need the crowd. We don't need, because these are the kind of conversation, unless you are willing to face up to them, unless you are willing to, because for me, right, I love my mom, I love my dad, and right, but here's what I tell myself, it stops with me, right? So when my kids enter the workforce, that 200 pounds that they would need to give me and make sure that is okay, that's supposed to be their investment, that's supposed to be going towards their future, right? Because here's the truth. Here and this is the truth. It is for me and to understand, when I sit back and I look, and if you can't, it kills your possibility of getting financial freedom, right? But as I said to you this morning, we cannot begrudge paying it. The good kids, the good people, we cannot begrudge doing that for our parents. The ones, and I know you said you are lucky and blessed, you're like a unicorn, you don't have to do it, right? But the mere fact is, our coming up to I think if you are in your 40s, maybe your mom and dad will probably be the last true connection coming through the colonial system. Because remember, Jamaica get independence August 6, 1962, right? So anybody who born during that time, before that, would have been a part of the colonial system, right? Now, when colonialism was finished along with slavery, because slavery finished, then colonialism and the colonization people, they take up them tools and them resources after they pillage the land and leave, right? So our parents would not be exposed to this way of thinking, right? Our parents would not know that. This is why in the richest book, that's why I talk about the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And if you can't read, listen to it. It speaks about it. Too many people in our generation, and it pains me, and it pains me to look back and maybe not, and look back close to home, and don't see people sitting up and planning for them golden years to come, planning for them retirement.
But then, quick question while interjecting there. Do you think it's because, again, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us in Jamaica, we just think for today, we don't think for tomorrow. So we in this anto mode. Not all of us, but most of us are in this anto mode kind of living, whereby you just live for today and what happen next week. And I'm not disagreeing with you. What I am saying is, and like you said, we have to stop it here, whereby we plan for our future so that the burden doesn't lie on our children to come and look after us. Because when we dead, we don't want our children to must struggle to bury we. Come on now.
No, but as I said, anti-mode, that's a mindset. That's a mindset, all right? You live anti-mode based on the resources you have, all right? But ultimately, if we don't look, because a man says it's not how much you earn, it's how much you are able to save. All right? It's not what you earn. And if you are a civil human being now, right? If you are civil, if you are a parent, right? And if you want any form of dignity when you are older, if you make $10, find a way to put down one, not the entire 10, because you have to live, right? But as I said on this platform all the while, and I'm not going to stop saying, this blue spinning planet, it has some fundamental principles that we have to follow. We have to abide by it. All right? And one of them, you either plan to live to dead tomorrow or to live forever. Right? And the way all your plan is to know that, like, guess what? I'm not getting any younger. I need to go in search of what's a pension. How do I look after myself when I can't go to work? How do I look after myself? How do I maintain my quality of life during my golden years? Right? And once you wake up to that realization, because what you find nowadays, you got some people, black people in them 30s and them 40s, and they are still not planning for the future. They are still not asking themselves, what should my future look like? Who is going to provide for me? Right? And like I said in the beginning, as much as you don't grudge it, but I wake up to the fact that this black tax, it is the biggest wealth. It really destroy the possibility of black people having any wealth and are changing their financial freedom. Because I guarantee you, if you go to the stock market with £100 per month for the next 20 years, just invest it in the FTSE 100, you don't have to do anything. I guarantee you. But if your parents live for the next 17 years or the next 20 years, and God bless you, you're a good-hearted child, and you know that I can't save this £100 because guess what? My mom needed to go to doctor. Do you see the difference? You see the difference? So it's about the conversation. It's about the conversation. And all when it's me and you alone having this conversation, it is about, because conversation moves the needle, you know. Conversation is a start. Maybe somebody never see it from this point of view. Somebody never really hear the term black tax. But like I said, when I went in the search of growth and transition and transformation of my life, I had to roll over every stone in my life. Right? Like my kids, I've got kids who is working and I don't know how much they work. I don't care. I don't want the money. It doesn't impact me because I am doing everything in my powers to make sure the curse that's called the black tax stops with me. It has to stop.
And what you're doing, Gavin, is the right thing, because at the end of the day, your children should be working their money and understanding that that is theirs, that is not for mommy and daddy and everyone else. You can educate them on how to diversify that money, but what they choose to do with that money is entirely up to them, because your role in their life is to just educate them on their financial constraints and anything that will get them moving forward. But it's not for you to tell them how to spend it. If they want to be reckless and spend it off, that's on them.
No, I get that. But like I said, I feel like I've observed them of the black tax. That curse. Right? I feel like the mere fact I feel the mere fact that I see them and I see the pleasure because they are still living at home, right? And I'm not troubling them, but they are not burdened down, because sometimes you live in a Jamaica and as soon as you get to work, then you realize shit, you know what I mean? There's not enough zeros at the end of the month as a young adult because there's so much to do. I think there's a lot of, when we listen to a lot of the music in Jamaica, right? A lot of the people who sings about wanting to take the stress off the mommy and daddy, or take the stress, maybe 90% off the mommy. We actually glorify that song, but we don't understand the level of trauma that it puts on a young person sometimes, to know that it's like, I'm forced to grow up. I'm so forced to grow up, right? Because I see the struggle that my mom is going through and I just have to do something about it, right? It has to be traumatic for a young person. It feels like sometimes you feel like you have to skip a couple of pages because you just want to do the right thing. And like when I said, when we come over here this morning, we just want to talk about the black tax, and anybody who want to listen and who never hear the term, right? You need to go in search of the black tax, and it's not a tax that you pay to the government for your skin tone, but it's a tax because when some people hear taxation, you know what I mean, Miss All, yeah?
Yeah, for real. Let me ask you a question, because a few years ago I was having a conversation with an elder, and she said she used to collect when her son worked. This is going back like 20 years. When her son worked, she used to tell him, say, give her £150 a month. And she used to tell him it's to go towards bills in the house. However, when he started working at 18, when he got to about 28, 30, she was saying to me that she was able to give him back that money to go and get a deposit. Right?
Yeah.
And he asked her, where did you get this money from? And she said to him, the money that you were paying me monthly for rent is the money, kind of thing. And he was quite shocked. So in a sense, what about those parents then who charge the black tax then, but they use it back on the child? What do you think about things like that?
But talk about the unicorn effect, that's a 1 in 100. Because that mom, so this is, it goes back. So you basically prove the concept. So basically, it's like you in a science lab with what I just said to you, right? Yep. And you test the theory, right? You have actually tested theory, Rich. You know you got a son, and now that I probably awake in your consciousness, you probably try the same experiment, right? So sometimes your kid think like, as I think my wife, her grand did the same thing with her son. She was charging him boarding in the UK. I think they call it let's say you pay some money. Because once the government stop give you money and then your kid at work, you take some money. But she was actually able to give him back that money. So you understand what I'm trying to say to you. So he did not understand it, and she just make it look like she was charging him rent. So once he was ready to go and get a mortgage, she was able to give him the down
He would have thought he was paying tax. He would have thought he was paying the black tax.
It's not, it's a black tax.
It's
Or
reverse black tax.
in that case, I think they have a word for it in the UK. They say you're paying like your lodging or your boarding, you know. You know what I mean? I think my kids, them, they work good money, so I don't know I don't pay much attention, but I think they pay some money towards the electrics. But when we say black tax, it's a difference.
You're not getting it back. You have this responsibility to support your parents and those who are struggling. I understand that. And then again, it might be the case. Suppose some people mother save the money when them send back home.
Oh, like but no.
Save the money to give them back. You don't know. They must save the money to give them back when they come to Jamaica.
No, not in Jamaica. Not in Jamaica.
Your mother save the money we give you back when they come back to Jamaica.
You know what? No, and as I know you say, my mom, like, this is not really centered close to home, but from an educational point of view, so this is what I've discovered. This is some of the conversation that going to change minds, right? And
it's real, you know. The black tax is real, because I know people who has to look after their parents monthly. They have to support even other family members that don't have it. I know this particular individual. They have a family group, and he's the treasurer, and they have to support the less fortunate in that group. Right. What would you say about that? Would you say it's a good thing that they're being so compassionate, or they're being taxed as a black?
But this is what drives it home to what we're talking about. When we say black tax, this is what is really hitting it home, right? Could you imagine if that money was going towards investment? If that money was compounding, right? Could you imagine the future that family, if everybody was able to pay into a pot, right? To say, let's invest this into the stock market for the next 20 years. Whether you are alive or dead, it's in writing that if you are alive, you'll get your percentage. If you are dead, it will go to the person that you stipulated that it should go to. Could you imagine the difference? It's like the Rockefeller family. It's like the Rockefeller family. They have this thing set up that enrich the family, and you pay back into it, and you get your portion, you invest it, and you pay it forward, right? What you find with the black tax, it doesn't allow you to do that. The black tax is a case of, all right, auntie's on the phone, auntie sick, auntie need to go doctor, all right? You got £100 spare cash this month, you're thinking, buy some stocks is cheap, you know, I would love to buy some stocks. But the humanity in you, the love inside of you, right? Little cousin on the phone. You know, some if you go do some CXC exam, and it is resonating because you are reminded that when you used to go to school, you wish somebody could have paid for some CXC subjects for you.
Or somebody did help you, so you have to pay it forward again.
All right, so let's look at it. That's January, anti-sick January. Come about February, you have some CXC if you pay for, right? Yeah? Come about March. When about March, a sports time at school now. So your little niece and nephew, them a reach out. Uncle, you understand me? Right through the year. No, if you sit down and you add up all that money over the course of the year, and if you should sit down and times that by the next 50, it's going, you know. It's always going, right? Can you see why when you sick, it's the same situation you will fall in?
Yeah, you're right, you know, and that's why sometimes this black tax conversation, it's so wide and varied, but we have to learn to say no as well.
Yeah, listen to me. We hear the term. You have to willing to say no. All right. We hear the term. You have to willing to say no. Who are you saying no to? Who are you saying no to? Because I know for a fact, if my mom pick up our phone, and this life is structured around my mom, all right? Yeah? I know for a fact that mommy pick up our phone. In fact, my mom pick up our phone already. I said, Gav, me need to go doctor, I need some medication before she call me have Western Union for my phone. You understand where I come from?
Yeah. So you
And
can
before
just
she
use
done
on your
talk, me say,
phone.
mommy, here is the reference number. All right? So we can't say we're willing to say no. Because for me, it's life over death.
Oh yes,
It
definitely,
is life over death.
But then it also
And
depends on who. Me not tell you say no to mommy and daddy, but you
no,
can't
but
say
this is
yes
why
to
we are saying
everybody
we are
either.
backseated. Whenever I talk about the immediate family and the extended cousin and the extended, we really are backseated. And I said the black tax, because the black tax is only reserved, to your mom and your dad. Right? I know you are in a unique position where you're in a different setup. But if you have migrated from a country like a Jamaica and you left your mommy and your daddy down there and them not have no proper health care, come my mom, she only go private doctor, She boasting like that. You understand me? But as me said, this life is not really to make it personal, I said, because I don't feel burdened down by it. But what I'm saying, I want to raise the awareness so somebody who is in their 30s and their 40s who is getting kids can start to look on them life from the end point. What will my goal, when I'm retired, what will it look like? Right? Who is going to look after me? So this is why the conversation. So it's not about to sit down and say, family are drain your resources. No, it's about to have the conversation. Have you ever stopped to think the effect that the black tax have on you? Where would you be 5 years if you weren't paying money? Because some people, the sad thing in the black community, some black people isn't really liberated until the passing of the mom or the dad.
Yes, true. That is true. You're absolutely right. And but who do we blame for that?
It's not about blame. Like we talk about that. Like I said, it's not about making excuse of black people. Some of them who still want to use slavery as an excuse for the non-progressiveness of the black races. As I've said in life before, every race faced them fair share of atrocity. But there's one thing you can guarantee. Every race said never again. But only black people seems to want to still not want to say never again. So we're going to educate ourselves, we're going to empower ourselves, and we're going to want to make sure it does not happen again. The last live I do, we talk about the effects of the Holocaust, and the Jewish people said never again. So they established a Jewish state. We talk about the Black Plague, we almost wipe out white people in England. They said never again. So England really invest in a medicine and health care.
Medical system, yes.
Right? Never again is powerful words. So but black people has never really stand on that mountain and said never again. So is slavery really, because we talk about the chains removing from the foot, but it's been moving onto the brain. No, I can't grudge my mom and my dad because they weren't privy to the knowledge that I'm privileged to know. They weren't privy to understand the stock market. They weren't privy to know that you can do this and do that and just looking out for it, because they live in a system that there was no social mobility, right? So in order to get me to be the man I am, they have to pour all of them resources in me, right? So I need to, it's a delicate balance to me now to make sure, say, I'm pouring back into them.
That them looked after.
Yes. So it is a delicate balance to me now to make sure, say, I'm pouring back into them to make sure my mom is comfortable and confident enough to take up her phone and say, Gav, me need to go doctor, or Gav, me go doctor, because a whole heap of brother of us, she said, Gav, me go doctor, me get some medication. All right, mom, no worry yourself. And she said, boy, me can get the generic, but me say, all right, no worry yourself. You understand me? While still keeping one eye on my future. While telling myself in the back of my mind, I really don't want this for my kids. Right? So it's not about grudging them. It's not about being bitter. Right? But it's about accepting the fact that if I did not have to, or I didn't need to do, then maybe this £100, because at minimum I'm sending £100 to one, depends what I have on the day. Right? Now I know for a fact that if you have £100 and you put it in the FTSE 100, then you really are investing in your future because the companies them not going away. Your money is working for you. And that's the effect of the black tax. So all when I'm me and you over here at talk, because we say anyway knowledge are dispense, black people not have nothing to do with it. Anyway knowledge are dispense, black people not have nothing to do with it. But when me come to the realization of the black tax, and if I love my kids and I want to make sure my kids can really be absorbed of it, me have to think about my future. Me have to think about my pension. Me have to think about my health insurance. Me have to think about everything we are going to make sure say, if my kids, them not give me all right.
Yes, but you know, saying this and saying that, all of what we're talking about is about education, you know. It's about
Yeah.
education, and we need, as black people, we need to educate ourselves. And like you said, you are setting up your future so that it doesn't fall back on your children when time come, isn't it? And
Yeah.
we need to be the generation that breaks away from what our parents used to do. And like you always say, we can't throw out the bath with the bath water, the baby with the
No.
bath water. Some things we keep, but certain things where it comes down to financial education, we need to get educated and say, you know what? All right, mama never have life insurance when mama dead, you know, and it fall upon the whole of us fi look about it, and we never have it. So therefore, me going forward, I need to make sure that I have life insurance, I have a pension, so that when time come later on in life, my child or children will not be saying, oh God, I have to be looking after mommy, and I have to pay this amount of money for mommy in the home, and I have to do. No,
No,
take away that financial
but
burden
this was
of the
say start
children.
with education.
Yes.
It start with education. But like I just me and you sit down over here start talk. But make me that talk about CMR, or make me that talk about mackerel, or make that's why I don't make excuse to black people. Black people don't want to educate themselves, you know.
No, we don't like invest, and I say we,
No,
and guys, please, whoever's over here, don't think I'm generalizing and saying it's all of us. But
no,
most
black
of
people
us as
no.
black
Black people
people,
don't
we
like
don't
education.
like investing. We don't like investing in ourselves as black people, and then we wonder why certain times we don't get further ahead like our counterparts in this world, because we don't invest and educate. Shush.
Black
We don't.
people are not nothing with education and empowerment. This is why every race that faced them atrocity could have stand on the conviction that never again. Black people are like education. Black people are like empowerment. Black people, if you in your 30s and your 40s, and you know as a black person, enough black people, millions of black people over the world don't know what them future are gonna look like. Them not have a clue. But make you remember this morning, I said to you, I don't spend major time on minor things. Give them the latest gossip. Give them the latest sauce. But come and I tell them, say, have you ever stopped to think the effects that black tax is having on your life? And if you plan to procreate and bring life into this world, do you want to pass on that same burden to your children? Me see, Damian Marley and Marty do a song the other day. Still a hide behind slavery. Is slavery impactful on black people? Yes. But so was the Holocaust and the Jews. So when the famine drive people out of Ireland to go to America to go start a new life. There was no Irish and no dogs on the window as signs. Every race faced a atrocity. Every race. Me see COVID come, enough black people couldn't live a day. And you know, sit up. Me see COVID coming up. Queen, you hear me? Close. Not too far. Me see COVID come. Enough people, me know them, me see them, and they couldn't last 2 weeks. And you know, sit up and say, well, because so I'm tell you about the book, Richest Man of Babylon. You have to plan for your golden years, the days when you can't work. If you couldn't survive, if you was a black man or a black woman, couldn't live 2 weeks in a COVID without money coming in, and you know, sit up and say, wait, then when me are 60 and 70, how me I go survive? Answer me. You know, I'm in love with COVID.
You're right.
I'm in love with COVID. I'm forever grateful for COVID with. It gives you a chance, a once in a generation time to examine your life inside out, every aspect of your life. Because it was some of the people with the most dangerous underlying health conditions was at the greatest risk. Right? It was, and if your relationship wasn't a good relationship, you were forced to confront it. Allow me to tell? Eh? Because the
Because
government tell you,
we were stuck in the same house as those
yeah, the government
individuals
not
that
tell you
we
if you
didn't.
go home to your man or your woman.
Yeah,
So
you're
if you
right.
don't love your wife and husband, that's your problem.
It slowed us. So COVID came to slow us down and to teach us some valuable lessons that we had forgotten about, like relationships. We need to be
COVID.
in relation with each other, not necessarily intimate, but we need to be in relation. And how does that work? Through communication, something that we weren't
Somebody
doing.
out there is looking on COVID and say, thank you, COVID, because you
Mm.
changed my trajectory of life. And we not trivialize it because people lose loved ones that they could not bury, that they could not say goodbye to. But the truth, as a wise man said, right? Every disappointment bring forth its equivalent. For the worst of time for you is the best of time for somebody somewhere in the world. And somebody somewhere is telling COVID thanks, because if COVID did not come, they probably would not change their business model. They would not change their front group. They would not change their spouse. Right? And that's the beauty of life. And you have a lot of people, they could not survive 2 weeks in a confined space with the person that them say them love. You have some people, they did not have the financial resource to survive. And you have to sit up and take notice. Eh? Yeah, of course, you know, have to share me a reason or yourself. We don't want the crowd. Because we are going to do a clip here and put you up. Because that you don't know what this.
Who's
Remember this
clipping?
morning? This is what we do. We don't worry about the crowd, because if you're not shout, see them conversation where two sensible people attack COVID now, TikTok now put you up.
Yeah, but like you said, COVID, and we don't want to trivialize. COVID came and it took a lot of lives, but at the same time, on the other hand, it made us as people stand up and say, you know what, we need to take a stock of our lives and the situations that we're in. Because when COVID came, remember, you were stuck inside. And
COVID.
it wasn't just to black people, it was to white people, it
No,
was
I
to
mean, I say just black people, I said
everybody.
generally, right
Yeah,
across the world.
everybody had to stop. Even the richest man on earth had to stop and say, you know what? I need to, be there for my family, speak to my family, people who you never even used to get along with. Had to get along with them because you're stuck with them
Listen to
for
me.
2 weeks.
COVID changed every living creature on this earth. Every person on this earth. COVID changed you, whether for the better or for the worse. Whether it's making you wiser, make you more resilient, or it's question your decision choice. So if you were a more driven person who prioritize money over family, then you probably find a lot. Because some people nowadays, you can't tell them to leave them family go to work, You got some people where they were so career driven that they would have got to the office when everybody is sleeping and come back home when everybody is sleeping. Right? You got some of these very people nowadays. COVID has been so impactful that you can take your job, but I'm not leaving my family and go back into an office if I can't work from home. So as much as we might want to let COVID sound like it was the worst thing to happen for some people, and if you have not learned any lesson, if you have not learned what is important in your life or who is important in your life, then you are a truly victim of COVID. Then you are a true victim of COVID. If it have not taught you anything, if it has not taught you that money is not the most important thing. We always said there's no virtue in being poor, and money is the ways we pay for goods and service on this earth. But ultimately, you got people who used to prioritize money. If you go into town nowadays, the amount of empty buildings out there, people refuse. People is refusing from leaving their kids to go sit into an office cubicle for 15 and 20 hours a day. No! Set me up here so I can still be a part of my loved one's life. But before we deviate and go off track, some of them, Kelly, some of them don't want this deep conversation. Some of them Caucasian.
Kelly, I know Kelly. I know
Kelly? All
I
right,
know him.
Kelly. Big up Kelly.
No, he's a man. I know him. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, no
That's
worry
why
yourself.
I asked him what he thinks of the black tax, but I don't know if he's still here.
Probably gone. But the
Okay.
conversation I will lick your chip. Me like twins are twins. Them say listen to them conversation at your own risk because it will lick your chip. It will lick your chip. If you're not mentally strong, it will lick your chip because see some of the limited beliefs and some of what's been holding us back in life is what some of us use to validate our very existence. Right? And when we've been driven, when we've been led to believe that some of the wrong things is actually right, when we have to fess up to it and own up to it, sometimes we don't have the mental faculties to accept it. But like it's not about begrudging your parents, it's not about begrudging them, but it's about asking the difficult question. Blessed Obi, where would I be? Where would I be if I did not have to be paying £100? And like I said, some of these things are systematical, because when the colonialists them leave Jamaica and leave the black people them, they could have leave them with a blueprint, They could have leave them with a blueprint for wealth. Right? These are the blueprint for wealth. But them never want to truly set you free. Some of these things that we are talking about is the blueprint for wealth. If my child not have to come back and give me £100 every month or £200 every month, could you imagine when she can invest her money 20 years? But if she start work, because me encourage them to understand the stock market, and me talk to them about the Vanguard and the BlackRock and you understand me? So my kids them are work when they are 18. Can you imagine if they must save £200 every month for the next 20 years? By the time they are 38, they are millionaire. And remember, we're in a day and age now where the most wealth get created. You go to Jamaica, you walk in the street of Jamaica, most 30 and 40-year-old, them don't understand what is investment. Them don't understand what's a pension. Them don't understand none of that. Systematically, blessed OBMBM mob. Serious, we are talking about the black tax this month. We don't have no whole heap of people, but anyway, knowledge are dispensed, you'll never find the crowd. Like I said, the biggest crowd, Jesus get away and they crucify him. If you are a black person, you have to ask yourself the impact that the black tax has on your life. Not from a grudgeful. If you're a good kid, pay it and pay it happy. Don't let the system see you frown. Of course, my art, I get a really joy in my art. I get a really level of joy when my mom. Cause you have some kids and parents raise them from nothing and they can't pick up the phone and said, hey, could you? No, but my mom called me with confidence. But when I look back sometimes, I said, all right, I've been doing that for 17 years. If I didn't have to be doing 100 or 200 pounds every month for the past, that's a down payment on a house. That's a down payment on a mortgage. And if you are a parent, it's incumbent on you to accept the fact that it stops with you. If you are truly a good parent, it's about waking up to the realization and say, you know what, I've been paying this tax. And I'm not going to pass it on to my children. Because I guarantee you, if you pass it on to your children is going to be passing it on to their children. Allow me to tell me, sir. You gone?
No, man, I'm here. It's because I mute myself. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we have to prepare the generations. Look on Bob Marley's legacy, for example. Look how much years Bob Marley did. But don't it that Bob Marley grandchildren, great grandchildren, great grandchildren, and great after that I was live off of that
Yeah,
legacy.
but I think the Bob Marley story has trivialized, but there's a powerful message in the Bob Marley story, and it says that if I struggle, it's just so that the people coming behind me. So Bob Marley paid. A lot of us watch a Bob Marley story, but there's a beautiful, if you watch a Bob Marley movie when him go in a Coxsone Dan studio and Coxsone Dan hot-head and have a gun and poor Bob Marley look nervous, and Bob Marley sing Simmer Down. Bob Marley, you could see the fear, you could see the purpose, you could see the why. You could see the how, because he know that I need to do this. So the Bob Marley, so when I watch a movie, and there's a powerful line that said, strong men create good times and good times create weak men, right? But the truth is in Bob Marley, so a lot of us see the Bob Marley. Blessed, my friend. I hope I'm saying something resonate to the deal. Send for the first. I hope I'm saying. But a lot of us, when we hear the Bob Marley story and we see the Bob Marley legacy, because you see, sometimes the true message is like when something is so impactful. It's like the story of Christ. The reason why Christ came is to pay the ultimate price with his life to forgive us from our sins. So it sometimes it get lost. But when we hear the Bob Marley story and we see how Bob Marley kids are living easy and they're not really living easy. I wouldn't say they live easy because you have a lot of people dead left legacy and through mismanagement, then everybody fall back into poverty. So I will always give the Bob Marley family credit to nurture what their dad started and to really build on it, right? But the true story in Bob Marley's story is that he suffered, he struggled. So the people them that's coming behind him would have had it easier, right? And this is why now you have to examine your life from top to toe. What am I going to endure? What am I going to give up? What am I going to sacrifice? So my child can have it better, not easier. Because if you want to make it too easy for them, because it's things that really requires our strength, that really built our muscles and our fortitude and strength in us in life. So I don't want to create an easy time for my kid, but what am I going to be doing so that they can have a more smoother path and have a better future? Make sense, Miss All? Are you there? Eh? Come on. I see you live, you know? How are you otherwise? You alright? That is it, man. That's how we do it, you know? Anyway, me I go run left here now. Right, sir? Me I go run left here right now. We come and deliver the message this morning. We talk about the black tax and the negative effects of the black tax. Not from a bitter standpoint, right? We come and we deliver the message, right, Miss All? Right? Them can't say them never hear it. So for us, it was important to come over here and have the conversation. If it wasn't for nothing more. Because some people, when the time of judgment come, them are gonna say, but me never hear that, me never hear nobody talk about the black tax. Now me never know about the black tax, sir. No, you can't say you never hear. You cannot say you never hear. So that was the reason, or that was a driving force. Right? That was a driving force of the reason why we really bring ourselves over here this morning. To really tell you that, all right, you are going. If you're in your 30s or in your 40s, make this pledge, especially if you have kids. If you have kids, make the pledge. Make the pledge to yourself, make the commitment to yourself that I don't want to pass on this tax to my kids. It is not nice. It is the wealth killer. It's the biggest wealth killer. It kills wealth. Don't worry yourself. Yeah, we are wrap it up, you know. It is the biggest wealth killer in the black community. Nothing will kill. Nothing will hamper your kid financial freedom. Nothing will stop your kid from getting on the property ladder. Nothing will stop your kid from really, really traveling and seeing the world, right? And to learn more about the importance or the negative effects. You should read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Make sure you're planning for your future. Make sure that you go in search of the knowledge. If you are working for a company, check up on your pension. Have a look on your pension. Making sure you're contributing to your pension. Right? Make sure you're contributing to your pension. And if you live in Jamaica, go into a bank. The resources is there, you know. If you live in Jamaica, go NCB or Mutual Life or Scotiabank. And ask them, what are the pension plans? Whether you cut, if you even wash car, if you are cut grass, if you are a taxi driver. I used to see this guy on my Facebook, you know, I don't know if he died. And a couple of times I sent him money, you know. And these guys were like self-employed, and I think his health is something happened to him and he wasn't able to work. Bruv, seriously, you going to be listen to me, looking at camera, I'm not going to reduce to begging. You're going to reduce to begging. You're going to, if you don't wake up to the realization of planning for your golden years, you are going to become the uncle or the auntie that are going to have to be calling your nieces and your nephew and beg. Yeah, you're going to you need to plant a wealth tree. Plant a wealth tree. Plant it. Go into your neutral life. Go into your cooperative bank. If you don't plant a wealth tree, something that going to give you, if it's not even a lot, but something that going to give you something at the end of the month to help you, you're going to be reduced to begging. You are going to be reduced to begging. And you like, for me, right, I've got like life insurance, and like I don't joke with it. I make sure it's paid on a monthly basis. You know what I mean? Because I've got the kind of life insurance, if something happened to me and I get a terminal illness, as long as I'm alive, it will pay out. And I've got the one, if I'm dead, it will pay out to my family, because I need to be able to look after my... I remember one time I tell one of my brother, I said to one of my brother, you should get a life insurance, you know. And he said to me, Jesus is his life insurance. But he said to me, Jesus, and I'm like, really, bro? Like, he said, yeah, I don't need a life insurance. He said, Jesus, but this is a mindset. I like, when I tell my mom I've got life insurance, she freaks out. She's like, why are you getting life insurance? You're calling down debt, you're calling down debt on yourself. And this is why we say the black people, we need a renaissance, we need a checkup from the neck up. We need a checkup, because when I said to my mom, I've got life insurance. Yeah, man, welcome back, man. When I said to my mom, I've got life insurance. I remember being in Jamaica and I said to my mom, we should go up to NCB, no, mama, and try to get you a health insurance and get you a life insurance. She was, what you call down death and sick? She said, I'm literally calling it down on her. But that's the mindset. But I can't blame her, because she's from that older generation. But now, the buck stops with me. Please make sure your insurance is in a trust.
Yes, Kelly. His name is Kelly. I told him, my friend. He sells life insurance. So
Maybe I have to talk to you, because I don't know the trust. I kind of want one of them will pay out after me pay back in for a certain time. So reach out to me and make me talk. Say, see, God, because this is why I love with the universe. Because God knows say me I pay no one life insurance, but if me daddy pay out. But now it seems like, so drop me a message, because you sound like Miss All know you. It's not in a trust.
I'll send him your number, Gavin.
Yeah,
yes?
And we will talk, because me I pay about £50 a month for your whole life policy. So maybe if me can get a better deal.
That's a lot of money, you know, that all. I'll definitely send him your number.
Yeah, I'm healthy. Me not smoke.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, and you're not old, and you're not big. Look, you're not even big like me, and you pay so much money.
Yeah, so that's why I love God. How me finna love God? Because God knows, say, see what me tell you about the universe? Eh? You know, say, God, I want to see him, so me have to talk to him.
He's always working behind. He's always working behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that is always working behind the scene.
Yeah, me never know. But that's that. £50, yeah, because they said, me just take up the letter. Let me tell you, I swear, me just take up the letter. Me there with smart life insurance.
Gavin, talk to the man off here. Me
yeah, no talk to me now. £41 a month me a pay. £41 a month. And me no drink, me no smoke. Me a recreational drinker, for tell you the truth. But me exercise regularly. And me no overweight. Me no have no diabetes, no nothing. Only thing me probably need to do is put on my glass. And a £41 a month then charge me. Yeah, I mean I pay for the past 10 years now.
But no, he's gonna get you a much better deal, and he's gonna get you your premium more, and he might get a critical illness as well. So don't worry.
Yeah, me talk like that.
I sent him the number, so he will definitely call you.
Yeah, all right, definitely. But no, this is what we talk about. So this is what we are talking about. But the reason why we come over here this month is just to get my people them to start to plan and think ahead. Because I've seen too much, especially in my age group. I've known people that was trying to remind me that we grow together, because unfortunately they meet difficulty in life. Some of them meet in accident in Jamaica, they lose both legs, or they lose and they can't work. And in order to beg you and feel like they still have the pride, they have to remind you that you and them used to grow together. Like, go into a bank, my people. Ask about the life insurance. Ask about the critical illness. Ask about these things so you can still keep your dignity. We have to get to a place like, you think say uptown, you think uptown at Jamaica, you think say them not paying them life insurance, them not have them health insurance. We have to educate, and the truth of the matter is it's a majority, because it's a matter. That's why we not gonna have a crowd. We not gonna have a crowd, you know. But me reach a stage where me start make excuses for my family and my fellow black people, because we don't want knowledge. We don't want anywhere the mix up there, anywhere the trivial conversation. But this is why I love the Bible. Because I tell me, say, if you walk with a company of fool, then they must become fool. So anybody who have watched my platform for the past 3 years, they must can get something of knowledge. Because me now come over here, son, talk the conversation and the triviality. It don't make no sense. But when we understand, if you never hear about the black tax, and the black tax, when the colonialists them left Jamaica and left here in the Caribbean, them take up them resources, them take up them education. Because how can somebody at the same age as my mother and father I get a pension in the UK, but at the same time, people back in the Caribbean, them never hear the word pension. Them don't know what's a pension. This is why the poverty and the depravity is so prevalent. Yeah, man, blessed man, blessed. That's what we do every fine. We'll reach out to you if we talk about probably in the new year or something, but we're going to reach out. Miss Al, pass on my digit stream, right? Miss Al? Yeah? A serious conversation we have over here, man. Please, let's plan a proper life. All right, yeah, of course. Liaison with Miss Al, and because when I love to have you, and we can talk about how them can know and what's a good life insurance and the importance of life insurance. The last time he tell my brother about a life insurance, he said Jesus and life insurance. Can you imagine that? I'm sitting and I'm listening. Yeah, man.
Typical. So I say, Jesus, is that because he's scared of death or because he's failing to plan?
That's ignorance.
He's failing to plan.
Me come to UK and me have about 2 life insurance about 3 years ago. Totaling to about 1 million. And me armed with the knowledge and me go back to Jamaica go look for them. And me say, brother, you have to get life insurance. The man said, Jesus have me life insurance. Yes, man, good. The Bible said. And if your life insurance, your inheritance, as long as you're honest and be truthful, then when you're dead, you pay out and you go to the people them. Me insurance up to just the other day, me tap pay too, because me have so much. Me just love them. When the money I run, me get them. If me can't pay them, me tap pay them. The last time me have about £1 million of life insurance. Millionaire. I think the one that me sit down on right now about 500,000-600,000. Yes, there's a proper pension plan for places.
Add Black King to the conversation as well. Black King is also another friend of mine. Just add him to the conversation. These are my people, them, you know. I know them.
People, of course. We like intelligent people. Tell him to send a request, man. I will add him in.
Michael, send a request and come into the conversation and talk to us about what you think about black tax. What do you think black tax is? Me can't do it. You have to do it. Me don't know if to do it.
Yeah,
can't say because of my life.
Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, Anne-Marie is here as well. Tell you, adult and big people be talk to, you know, adult conversation. Hi, Anne-Marie.
If him send the request, man, him can pop in.
Anne-Marie, right? What do you think about black tax? And Gavin, I think I need to put it out there what black tax is and pin it. I might be able to sell it.
I don't know if it's the most fantasy thing. Me not me 40s, you know. A kite and Dalios grow me a marble and jacks and a TikTok. But we don't know of a pin. Me don't know of a pin. The only pin me know a close. Me send him a request, so he can't accept. But what we are trying to get to is about a mind shift. It's a shift in mindset. To say that we what is that? Miracle. We are talking about black tax. So if you never understand the black tax, if you're in your 30s and 40s and you live whether the Caribbean or Africa and you are expected or you still do it to really make sure say you send back something for your mother and your father and maybe your immediate family, people who you care about. You know, for me, and know it's a delicate conversation, right? My mom called me and said she need to go doctor, she need this or that, you know. So we are looking about the impact it have on your resources that you could be the possibility of you investing that into your golden years. So imagine if you've been doing that for the past 17 years. Now, if you understand the stock market and the FTSE 100 or the American big one, they got the 500 company or whatever, right? You imagine if you were investing that sort of money, if you're investing £100 or £200 over the past 17 years, you could see that you would be on the path for wealth
It's
creation.
Michael. That is Michael. Sorry, Gavin. That is
Yeah.
Michael that we added to the that you added to the
Oh,
line.
yeah, it's all right. If he's on the road, it's all right. One time we can set up and, because it's about having the conversation. So for me, coming to the realization to say that there is such a thing and it has an impact. The black tax has an impact in the black community, right? Because if your kids, all right, don't worry yourself, give thanks. If your kid is paying that, if your kid is giving you £100 or £200 for the past 10 years or 12 years, could you imagine if your kid didn't have to do that? They wouldn't be able, they would be able to probably retire at a younger age or retire with a better financial freedom. So if you have never heard the term wealth, the black tax, it's about sitting up and accepting, and it's not about begrudging it, because the reason why we are over here talking, we're talking to Miss All this morning. Now, we wasn't from a begrudging position, but it's about accepting that, you know what, our parents did not have the access to the knowledge or the education or the ways and means of how to really make sure this did not be something that we have to carry forward, right? Because coming up, if, as I said, if you it's less than 60 years or 70 years since slavery has been abolished in Jamaica. I don't think it's 70 years as yet, right? So you'd understand that you'd probably have a generation that was enslaved through the freedom, without the education, without the skills, without the mindset. So it's about we having the conversation.
Your comments, David.
Yeah, Matthew, I say, I don't see that as a tax. I see it as giving back to those who were, yeah, but yes, yes, but there's a term. There is it's like black people, we have a lot of terminology for things, right? It's like you go Jamaica doctor, you say me belly a run, but the medical term is diarrhea. Are you with me? So yes, it is giving back, but the appropriate term that is systematically attached to it, it is black tax. So we can't go to doctor with running belly, and when doctor say it's called diarrhea, you say, no doctor, my belly a run. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's the problem with black people. So in the system that's designed, I haven't seen it on TikTok for a while. I don't wish one that. So the system that's put that in place, it is put in place to see us being good kids, good people, good Samaritans. But it is black tax. Yes or no?
Can I pose this question then? Can I pose this to Michael especially? Michael, what Gavin is saying, so meet each other. Gavin, Michael,
Yeah.
Black King is Michael. I know him as Michael. And
Yeah.
Black King top farm, where is Gavin? Right.
Yeah,
so
man, I mean, man.
yeah, anyhow, the question, what he's saying, what Gavin is saying is that black tax is a state whereby us as black people, we have to give back to our parents or the immediate family back home because we are working and we're earning. And is it right? Because when you look at our white counterparts, they take, say we were sending 2 bills a month to Jamaica. That £200, they our counterparts take that money and invest it back into the FTSE 100 or some form of investment, and they save it. And then 10 years, 20 years from now, they will have that money to rely on. Whereas with us, we won't have that because we've been sending back that money, not because, sometimes it's because, like you said, it's because they used to look after us, but other times it's because we are bounded, because they make we know say me spend my money upon you, and you need to come look after me, because we're bound. So what he's asking is, do you think it's right that us as black people should be paying this black tax when other race don't necessarily do it? That's what he's trying to say. He's not saying that we shouldn't look after our parents. No, that's not what Gavin is saying. He's saying, should we be paying forward with the black tax? That's what he's saying.
I would not say you should, right? Don't get me wrong, right? And you see, the truth is, the black tax is this thing. You see, You see, if you have the option, you see, if your parents can do without you giving them, then you're not paying the black tax. Right? Yeah? If your parents can keep the light on over them head, can keep food on them table, can go to doctor, can get the medication, you are not paying the black tax. But if you for a fact know that if I don't keep the lights on, if I don't put food on the table, if I don't send her to doctor, if I don't buy the medication, because there's a difference, giving back is one thing, but expected to do. And this is why in the community, when you got some people who refuse to pay the black tax, they are looked upon with scorn. You will go back to Jamaica and they say, look upon him and his mother, they suffer. Allow me to tell you. Me not come with lie.
You're right, and we all
not come with lie.
No, you're right. Yeah, we all do it as a people. We do it because, for example, if my father needs something and I can't give it to him, and me I say, well, my brother and sister did it as well. The first thing I say, so why them can't do it? Do you understand what I mean? And look how them all live big life. I go here, there, and everywhere, and them father need help and they can't help. So you're absolutely right. But the point that we need to drive across, because people are coming in on the live and we need to drive it across. Gavin is not saying, Top Farm is not saying that we shouldn't look after our parents and immediate family who looked after us. What he's asking is, should we still be paying this black tax, and would we be better off if we weren't paying the black tax? That's what he's asking. So let's
the more question I'm asking, do you want to pass on the black tax to your kids?
Children? Yes.
Right? I'm not asking in the past, because the past is the past, and the reason why we have been asked to pay the black tax, our parents did not have a choice. I don't feel like they have a choice. Right? I don't feel like they have the resources. I don't feel like they have the know-how. I don't feel like they have the knowledge. But what I'm asking, right?
Is there white tax?
White tax is more emotional, man. White people who cry for emotional tax more than white people. Anyway, what I'm saying, right? The questions I'm posing, right? Because history can't. Why black tax? Why black tax? Why? You see, black tax is unique to black people. Black tax is unique to black people. So we can't be looking out there and say, it's not being done in the Asian, it's not being done in the white community, it's not being done in the Chinese community. There is some things that is uniquely black, right? There is something that is, and to be honest, I think black people, we insulate ourselves sometimes and think because you got other races out there, because I know Indian people who have to work and send back money to India, right? But when I say black tax, I can't come here and say Indian tax because I'm not Indian, right? You got Chinese people, you got Korean people who come to different parts of the world. You got people from the Philippines who move to America and work and send back money to their family, right? So this is, and I think this is black people. I think black people, we are sometimes we get up on our IRs and things that we're black king and black queen and everything is uniquely us. All right? But what you find in different communities, but we also send money to family, right? Of course. So hold on, let me get to it. What we find uniquely in the black community sometimes, right? Is about we don't really try to change it, because what you find in some other communities, they understand that it's a problem and they work to break the curse. Are you with me? So you might find in the Indian community and the Chinese community, they identify one person and they push that one person because they know that if this person do it, they can change the trajectory of the family, right? But sometimes in the black community, it's not about changing the trajectory. It's about the prolonging. We prolong it rather than want to change it. And because of that, it's never changed. It keep goes on for generation and generation and generation. So, like I was saying, it's not about, we can't mix up giving back with expectations. I've got family or some friends who, if I want to give you, I will give you. But when it comes to my mom and my dad, especially my mom, because my dad is still doing his thing, right? I'm expected that she says she want to go doctor. I don't have a choice. No, that's not giving back. That's not giving back. I have a choice. Do I make sure that I provide her with the resources, make sure she's all right to go to doctor, get her medication. That's no longer a choice. That's my mom. All right? And that's really because if she have it, she wouldn't need my resources. So now we can associate, because let's say, all right, let's say one of the big British company or the FTSE 100 drop a 0 point something point. And I'm queued up and I'm a big investor. And my mom phoned me and said, happens before. Why am I want to go doctor? Shit. Me no invest £100 in the stock market. You understand what I mean? Even my friend who sell life insurance. There'll be time when me sit down and say, maybe can't pay my life insurance this month because I have to give mommy that £50. Yeah. That's the black tax, you know. We not talk about Christmas and you have some extra money. We not talk about Christmas and you
Hello,
have
guys.
extra money. Hello?
Zodia, hi. How you doing?
I'm here.
My brother. So when I spoke earlier about the black tax that you're speaking about, so I think there is different that can be distinguished between this black tax and people who who choose to give something to their family member. So we know from the origin of black tax that it was something that was originated in South Africa that was meant to be for the black wealthy workers who were out there working. They're wealthy, they had more money than a family member who didn't have it like that. So they used to, that is how this black tax conversation come in South Africa when it started from the outset. Now, we also know that it has been around for a very long time. So when I draw the distinction between a family member, I've got a son, I go all out, I make a lot of sacrifice for my son because I want him to go and play football, or I want him to become a lawyer. So I'll be going out there and make a lot of sacrifice for him. It is right for that son, or if my mother go out there and made a lot of sacrifice for me to go to school, to get a proper good education, or to get the best education, to give me a really step ahead of the rest. I think it is right for me to come up and not to look on it as a so-called tax, and that's why I said I don't see it a black tax. It's for me giving back to that person who look after me, to put me in the position that I'm in now, to give back to them. And that's why, I draw the distinction between, say, black tax, knowing from where it's coming from, the reason of its inception, to
All right. So
what it
let's
is
look
now.
at it.
And I hear what you said.
All right. So let's look at it. Let me show you
Yeah,
something.
go ahead.
I'm a parent and I want the best for my child, right? Yeah? Right? So, and I know
Yeah.
if you said you are a parent, you want the best for your child. So, if you given the choice where you know that my child financial freedom and independence is important, and if my child is faced with a decision that doesn't have to give me a money every month and invest that money in his or her future, don't you think your child would have a better life?
And again, there is distinction in between what you said. If I've got a child and my child out there making money like that, and he want to go out there and invest his money, I do not need his money, and he want to go and invest his money the way how he see fit to invest it in order to build a financial wealth. Why not? I would agree for him. I would encourage him to go out there and build himself like that. If it's a case where I cannot manage because I put everything into that child, and I cannot manage after a while, I get to a stage because I'm just coming off a chat where they was talking about something similar to this. Not black tax, they was talking about elderly person. And who look after that elderly person? Who should look after that person? And if I'm find myself in a position that, I just cannot manage anymore to make two ends meet. May it be because of bad financial decision that I made in my life, maybe because I went all out on that child for him to get that education, to get himself in that position that he's in. I would expect for that person to come and say, my dad look after me, or my mom look after me. My mom was there for me. I put someone like, say, a Ryan Sterling in the conversation. Ryan Sterling look after his mom. You know, his mom was always there. His mom is like his manager, basically. You know, his personal manager or his agent. So she's the one who look after his financial situation. She's the one, the first money that he get after he gets signed, he makes sure he buys mama a house from it.
I think, right?
How do
I
we
think
draw the
we have
distinction
to
in that? Do we call it
we
a
have to
black
be
tax?
careful. We have to be careful how we draw the parallel, right? Because if Ryan Sterling is a multi millionaire, right? Millionaire, all right? But not everybody is raising a Ryan Sterling. And if you are living off minimum wage, you are truly,
Yeah.
if you come and make it big and you can save your entire family, because sometimes God bless you to come and save your family, of course, save them. But I'm talking about the people or the person, because you said two things. You said two things, right? In your, when you're speaking, you said two important things, right? Before you mentioned Rhymestone. You said that if you don't
Yeah.
need your child and you want to invest his money. So this conversation
Yes.
was talking about shifting the mindset to make sure so we, this generation, don't need our kid to come and be our savior. So it's not about saying that if your kid go on to gain huge amount of wealth, they should not pour back. Of course, by all means, right? But sometimes you're raising some kid and they are going from paycheck to paycheck. They are living on the breadline like yourself. And this is why you have
No,
so
that
much
is true.
frustrated adult, because they can't
That is
provide for
true.
the family they created. This is why it's so dysfunctional and frictional in the black community. Because
That
you
is
might have a wife and a house to provide for, and you might end up with a woman who can't understand why you as a man want to look back and help your family. So even this, what we're talking about, is causing a lot of family breakdown in the family. Am I right?
no. You're quite correct with that. But
A
also,
serious
as I said,
conversation.
no, you're quite correct. But what I said to you, as I said to you, the inception of black tax, or the so-called black tax, the inception of it was for the wealthy of family, the family with wealth, to give. It wasn't about for a family member who was, just there doing because I've got a job and I'm there working now. I should be sending. The inception of black tax was for the wealthier, the one
Yeah, I get
who
that,
got the
but it is
wealth.
morphed. It is morphed, So it is no longer. It was no longer what it was created for, because, like I said, 90% of the Africans are who come from the Caribbean move to America. A lot of people who move to America, and when people truly walk away from it, because it can be draining on your resources. You notice. You notice sometimes when people walk away from it, they are being outcast by the family. You know?
It,
So
it,
that was what we're talking about. So it's about if you got
Guys, I think, Michael, listening to you, and I agree with what you're saying as well. So, like I said, there is a two-sided sword. However, I think the operative word that we need to understand is expectation and obligation. So
yeah.
you said you would expect your child to do it because you looked after him, and I think that's you're within your right to have that expectation. The next thing is, though, is he obligated to help you because you looked after him? Those are the two operative words that we need to look at: the expectations and the obligation. So
so look after again, though they are look after. It wasn't, you have in some cases, you got family who, it's our God-given right to look after our child. It's our God-given right to
yes,
look after
definitely,
our
because they
child.
didn't ask to be here.
Of
Yes,
course, they
definitely,
didn't ask to
definitely.
be here. We bring them here, so it's our right to look after them. However, there is a difference between looking after a child and make sacrifice to ensure that that person go ahead of the others. For instance, there is a school up in Blackheath, private school in Blackheath, where I think the term is something like 18 grand per term to go to that school. Now, if I send my son to that school, pay 18 grand per term to get him into that school, and did not send him into, say, public school. Now, I am making sacrifice, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about making sacrifice. I am making sacrifice from that stage to say, you know what, I want to put my son in a better stead than his peer because I am looking after his future way ahead of time. This is what I am. This is what I want to see come my son come out of my son. So if I'm putting in that sacrifice, that is what I'm talking about. I'm not, if I
Yeah, but I
if
mean,
I if I
No,
to
the
say,
question,
well, yeah,
Michael.
that's it.
No,
But
no.
that's
What I said, no. We have as parents, because we're all who is on here. We're all parents. What I'm saying is, we are supposed to look at, like you rightly said, we are supposed to look after our children. That is our right by them. They didn't ask to come here. As long
of
as
course,
they are in our house at the age of 18, we are. It is our obligation to look after these children. I think what I'm trying to get at is, are they then obligated to look after us because we looked after them when they were younger? That's the question. Are they obligated to look after us? That's the question. Are they obligated?
I
my
just think
answer
I
to that
just think
question.
that obligation mindset is uniquely in the black community. You know what I mean? But and I guess this is why this conversation is having to try and change some
Let
mind,
me hear
change
what
some.
Michael was going to say, Gavin, about are
My
we
my
obligated as children to look after our parents?
My mind, no, I don't think you're ever obligated. You can only hope you raise your kid right enough. But it only comes back to that mind. Like I
Hang
said,
on
it
one
comes.
second. 1 second, Gavin. Let me hear with Michael, because in terms of that obligation, I hear what you're saying, Gavin, but let me hear with Michael. I say, are our children obligated to look after us, or are we obligated to look after our parents? This is the black
I
tax.
think
No, we know.
I, th- I think in and I think it's in two ways. There once a man, twice a child. So there's once a man, twice a child. I think, and that's where my answer will be different from Gavin's answer and from your answer. My answer is this: there is no such thing as obligation, and no child to look after their parents. However, if again, I will use it and I will not stop using it. If I've got 5 kids, I send two of them to public school, and I send 3 to private school, and two come and that two said to me, Dad, why didn't you send me to private school as the others? I said, you know what, I just couldn't afford it, but I send them to. And then one come out and have a better job than the 2 that went to public school. I would be expecting for them to come back and look after me if I fall into a situation where I cannot be look after myself. I cannot do it because I know the sacrifice that I put in to get them where they are.
Micah,
That is my answer.
Micah, you sound
Yes,
like one
sir.
of my brother. You sound, boy, I don't know you well, but me can only glad me and your son, you know.
No,
But
but
this is
you know
why we
what though,
having this
and
conversation. Hey,
you know what though, and there's
Kevin
another thing
Matty,
to
big
what you
up
said
it
earlier.
because it wasn't possible. What you trying?
There's another, there's another thing to what you said earlier. It's not only, but it's not only black people who think like this. The Indian family, they plan their thing out where they plan their thing out even more than us. They've got their thing set even more than us.
I think
If you sit down and listen to our Asian family about how they plan out their thing, the thing that is on the first child, which is son, to come up and to look after the family member, to look after the other one coming on, you will be surprised to say, you know what, there is more expectation on their side than what is on our side.
I mean,
On the other side,
we
yeah,
don't
go
want to
ahead.
lose focus. Like, I mean, what really bring us over here, and I appreciate your unique. Like I said, you sound like one of my and you sound very like old fashioned way of mindset, and that's okay, right? But I think for me, it's about having the conversation to say, you know what, it is a big wealth, it's a wealth killer in the black community, right? It is stop your kid from really starting the process of creating a better future for themselves and the children to come. Because let's be honest, right? If your kid need to 100% categorically, our mindset isn't like the age. So if your kid have to constantly giving you the money that they should be invested in the future, then the poverty, unless they really come out as a footballer or a sports person who can really make a difference. But if you are living from paycheck to paycheck, and when you get your paycheck you can't find the money to do the simple investment of save no less than 1/10, because 9 out of 10 times I can tell you it's a financial principle in the book The Richest Man in Babylon. Save no less than 1/10 of your earning. But if you have to be giving away that 1/10 of your earning that you should be saving, then you have to ask yourself. So we can't feel entitled because we raise our kids and we sacrifice for our kids, that our kids should fall in the same poverty trap that we fall into. And that can only happen if we change our mindset to say, you know what, I'll be pouring into you, but I'm keeping one eye on my freedom, so I can truly absorb you of this responsibility, so you can start. Otherwise, we only prolong the generational curse. And I hope it makes some sense. All right? All right, and I'm going to run here now because I've been on here for a while, and I hope it makes some sense. So sometimes we can sit down and examine our philosophy, Michael. We have to sit down and examine our philosophy and say, is this the right way of thinking? So it's okay if you're raising the next Ryan Sterling or the next footballer. But if your kid is coming out into this world, into a job in the UK for a 30 or 40 or 50,000 pounds per year, in a ever-growing high inflation order to live society, do you really want to go on your child budget? And that's what really separates the good parents from the okay ones. All right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm at that place nowadays where I know for a fact that it is a wealth killer in the black community. Forget because the truth of the matter is, the wealth is in the Asian community, it's in the Chinese community, it's in the white community. The black community is being plagued by some systematical problems that we need to have the conversation around. All right?
I think, all right, brother, you take care of yourself. But I think what is more a wealth killer in the black community is the fact that we're not working together. The crab in a barrel situation where we're not working together. We're not lifting each other. Whether it's brothers and sisters or auntie and uncle, we don't work together. We don't lift each other. That we're not creating wealth.
If not conversation like this,
in that situation,
we are protective, we are territorial, so I'm going to have to protect my resources because I don't see your resources. So it is not just that black people don't really want to unite. I mean, black people just have had conversation like that, but this life is not about that. So in order to fix a problem, we have to go see the problem holistically. We can't look at it from a one-sided point of view, right? Because if I'm coming to you as a family member, I say, let's do this. What are you bringing? What are you showing? What are you declaring? And because, especially in the black community, we have learned to hide our riches. Because when mom is sick, and this is, so now you can understand, we could sit here and talk forever. Because when mom is sick and dad is sick, make black king do all right. If your mother dead or your father dead, are you expected to bury him or her? Because them deem you as a rich one. So now we understand everything linked. As I said all the while, I love my philosophy. Every discipline affects each other. Everywhere we think affect each one. Because if your family deems you with the one with the money, then every time mom is sick, why you not call Black King? Why you not call Matthew? Why you not call? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we develop this mindset that we have to hide our resources because we have learned to watch each other pocket. And if you look like you are doing better than me, I'm going to be doing things to try to pull you back down to my level. So it is some systematically, but it's about having the conversation. It's about working on the mindset.
Aye.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. Blessed.
Bless up.
Follow each other. I've got my live tomorrow, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No worries.
8 o'clock, I'll send out information
we have on this platform. All right.
Yes. All right. Bless up yourself, brother.
Bless up yourself.
All right. Take care.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
So now you understand. Now you understand some of the systematical problems that plague the black community. So if I don't trust my family, I'm not going to declare my wealth to them, because we have this whole notion that we will pass the buck to the person that we deem with the biggest pocket in the family. And this is why distrust and disloyalty and jealousy plague the black community. So if I'm jealous of you, I'm not going to want to see you win. I don't want to see you do better than me. So if we go and fix what's wrong with the black community, which we never go and be able to fix it, and the black community don't accept that there's anything wrong with the community. We will never accept it. For a community that used to be so united, like if black people weren't united, we'll still be in slavery. It was our unity that freed us from slavery. It was our trust for each other that freed us from slavery. You want to go on, me find a way to get off our plantation, me I can link you tonight. But this is why the system has systematically created distrust in the black community. From the popular culture, there's no more, you know, see what them do? Them distrust, me on the black people, me no want them kill me, that's what they do. First thing, you know, them create distrust amongst the people in the popular culture. Then them put it in a song for reach your subconscious. So nowadays, now it start affect family. Black people was a trustful people. I trust enslaved black people. I trust we trust our white counterparts. Why when we wake up, we are come off in the Caribbean, in an unknown land. I true we trust. I don't nothing more. I true we trust them to come down to Africa. Even nowadays, black people still are trust. You come on this platform, we trust them and them take away the culture. 90% of the on this platform are benefit from the black culture and the black experience. And not black. I true black people trustful. So when me hear a lot of people I say black people not trust and black, no, a lie. If it wasn't for trust, black people would still be in a slavery. We trust each other. In a Europe, anytime you see two black people turn up at talk, everybody wonder what them talk about. Me see that. Me and one black you turn up in a Glasgow talk and about 10 people approach me. What are you guys talking about? Yeah, I trust free black people from slavery. I trust. If I never trust, we won't trust one another in a slavery because we don't have nothing else. But the system sit down and say, all right, how do we destroy trust in the black community? That the rapper they not trust, that the rapper they not like, that the rapper that the gang and then them bring the rap and then bring the gang and then bring a whole melting pot of distrust and then them go in a studio and then put it in a song and then it reach your subconscious. And the Bible tell you, you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. You're supposed to be your brother's keeper. And because we don't want to be with brother's keeper. My Bible, no one law, be your brother's keeper.